Who is single-handedly responsible for the creation of the world's largest empire known in world history? Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan was known as a ruthless man. However, his good outweighed his harm. He created cross-cultural interaction across the continent of Eurasia. Today we will examine the effects he played on Eurasia through an economic, political, and social lens. Firstly, Genghis Khan was responsible for the creation of many trade routes. His most notable trade route was the Silk Road, stretching all the way from Beijing, China, all the way to the northeast. The Silk Road was named after the silk that was very expensive and valuable in China. Prior to the Mongol Empire's rule, the Silk Road was largely owned by bandits and thieves, making it a very difficult route to go for merchants and travelers. Usually they would go through the sea. However, the Mongols created guard stations and set up posts to stop the banditry, and they also taxed the Silk Road to create revenue for themselves to create more economic expansion. The Mongols were also responsible for the popularity of many new inventions. For example, gunpowder. According to Jack Weatherford in his book Genghis Khan, he states the gunpowder formula was changed to yield explosive force rather than slow burning, like for example in rockets. Prior to the Mongols' use, gunpowder was only used for celebration in rockets. However, they popularized the use of gunpowder to destroy walls through cannons. They also popularized the use of paper money. Gold and silver were hard to travel across the vast empire, so they created a currency that could be used all across Eurasia in paper form. This helped create more cross-cultural interaction and more trade because people could hold more paper money on them when they traveled across the Gobi Desert. The Mongols were also responsible for creating a postal system. Genghis Khan was known for wanting his information fast, so the Mongols set up posts all across the empire in which a messenger from the eastern side could ride to one post, switch horses, and ride to the next, and continue all the way across to wherever Genghis Khan was. This could allow messengers to travel across the entire empire in 4 to 6 weeks. The Mongols also had political effects on the countries that they subjugated. After Genghis Khan's death, Kublai Khan was responsible for taking over the Chinese side of his empire, creating the Yuan dynasty. Though you might think Mongols in charge of China would be a bad idea, Kublai Khan was actually responsible, according to Columbian University, for reinstating the music and dance rituals that were such an integral part of Confucian ideals. His desire to submerge himself in Chinese culture made it apparent that he was there to benefit China economically, socially, and politically. Kublai Khan was also responsible for creating communal farms in China. The peasants were at a lower status prior to the Yuan dynasty. However, through communal farms, they were able to grow economically, putting more emphasis on peasant life rather than elite life. The Mongols had the least benefit, however, in the Persian Empire. After the destruction of the Persian Empire, Persia was taxed heavily because there was a miscommunication about a trade deal prior to them being subjugated. However, the benefits that could be reaped from this was that the Arabic mathematic and science systems were spread all across Eurasia, creating the popular use of the Arabic numbers. The Mongols also had a social effect on the Eurasian continent. The most notable one was their religious freedom throughout the empire. The Mongols were shamanists and animist, which means they found spiritual wealth in their homeland. They didn't expect other countries or other nations to be subjugated to their religion because the religion was based specifically in their homeland. So they allowed for missionaries to go across all of their nation and allowed people to keep their religion. Unlike the Crusades, this made their empire easier to maintain because they didn't have to regulate religion. The Mongols also helped spread the food and culture across their empire. For example, in Persia, Persian rice dadig is a crispy rice that would not have been a staple of Persian cuisine unless for the Mongols. The Mongols spread rice all the way to Persia. The same could be said about hot pot. The Mongols were hungry for meat while they were living in China and created the hot pot cuisine. Hot pot is still popular today in China. The Mongols created cross-cultural interaction and had more benefit than harm in their effects across the Eurasian continent, spreading and creating economic prosperity and cultural interaction. Thank you.